So I decided to do day 6 of the levain. I don't usually do this, but at the end of day 5, I told you needed to feed it some more times to get it vigorous. So this is the levain that I fed yesterday and turned it from a liquid to a firm levain. You saw me do that, so you can see it's actually, I have a very vigorous levain, really, after only, well, this is day 6. Your levain at this point may not look like this, but you can see it came up and it went down. So it actually is overripe, but for you it may not look like this. So I'm going to just do the same thing I did, but I wanted to show you. So I have 60-degree water again. I need to use, for myself, for my tap water, I need to use ice to get it to the proper temperature. So I am using 4 ounces of water. Again, the recipe in the text is 8 ounces of water, but I've cut it in half just to try to cut down on the waste, since I need to throw part of this away. And if I decide to film day 7, I may even cut it further. There we go, 4 ounces of water. And then I need to take just 2 ounces of this levain. So the first thing I'm going to do is stir it up. You can see it's a different consistency than it has been before I turned it into a stiff levain. So it's definitely runnier than yesterday. It's because all the bacteria and yeast have been feeding on the starch, so a lot of the structure is gone. But it's definitely runnier than it was yesterday. It's very strong. It smells delicious. It's starting to smell as you might expect sourdough to be. And all I need here is 2 ounces. Now, I know I'm doing it for a video. I do have to just show you that I got lucky, and I ended up with 2 ounces right off the bat. So all of this is waste. Again, you can feed it if you want, but that means tomorrow you will have to use that much more flour. So that's why we only feed a portion of it, because we don't want to waste too much flour. And this is going to go away. I don't need my scale anymore. I'm going to put this down because I've already scaled out my flour. This is a little stiffer now, so it doesn't just dissolve into the water, which is fine. I myself tend to like to just mix it into the water a little bit. You don't have to take time to dissolve it all the way. Just break it up a little bit. And then we're going to add the flour. Okay, that's 6 ounces of flour. So again, the ratio that you'll be using all the time now is 3 to 2 to 1, or 1, 2, 3, depending on how you're looking at it. It's 3 parts flour, 2 parts water, and 1 part levain. For a stiff levain, for this particular levain, that will be your go-to ratio. You can see that with that ratio, it's immediately very stiff. So in order to get a very good mix for myself, the easiest way is to use my hands. And again, as I said in the video from yesterday, or from day 5, I try not to separate my fingers. Then I'm going to get dough on all of my fingers. I keep 4 of my fingers as a paddle. So I press down and turn over. And you can see with my hand, it's actually so much more effective. I'll try to do it, push it down and turn it over. And actually it gives me a better feel when I do it with my hands. I can tell when the levain is smooth. I'm not looking for any gluten development here or anything like that. I'm just looking for smoothness. I want to make sure that that 2 ounces of levain that I put in here is equally distributed and has access to all of that flour that I just put in, because that's the food, right? The levain is going to eat it's going to use the flour for the food source. So I just mix it. Again, I'm just pressing, kind of smearing against the sides. So if you remember what this looks pretty much like it looked yesterday. Again, I'm sorry, I forgot a scraper again. So I want you to pay attention to what it looks like right now. This is what it looked like yesterday when I switched it from a liquid to a stiff levain. This is what it should look like all the time now after you feed it. Pretty stiff. And so I just want to go over again. You see, I'm just smashing it against the side of the bowl. I'm only using one hand. I think it's just easier. And looks like it feels like I'm done. That didn't take much time. The folding it over is really important because it incorporates oxygen, which is useful for this type of fermentation. So I'm done here. This is what I end up with. Just want you to compare that with how the levain looked at the beginning of this video. It had risen all the way to the top and actually started to collapse again. So yours may not look this vigorous, but you want to feed this each day until it looks that vigorous, and then it's fine to use in bread.